Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. 1 week hiatus back from California, and I just realized I'm wearing palm trees on my shirt, so that was kind of fitting, being in Palm Springs. Running backs last week, didn't get to chime in on those, but now receivers this week, and actual good playoff football that we just witnessed this past week. Some saying arguably the best divisional round, if not just playoff weekend ever. And for those saying the Bills-Chiefs one of the best games they've seen, you've sorely mistaken of the 28-3 comeback that you all witnessed on live television. So there's a lot of other games. Let's not get too wrapped up in the moment. It was a fantastic game. We're going to break all of that down. There is officially some signings, no head coaches, but GMs that are just going to continually ruin the franchises that hire them. All that and more as we get into wide receiver accountability. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zolo. Joining me, as always, Joshua Hudson, Ryan Weiss. Back from a hiatus as well, Joshua Hudson. I want to thank Don Julio for filling in last week as his replacement.
So there's that.
I mean, here's the thing. Is it Don Julio or was it Jose Cuervo? Bottom shelf.
No. Terramana. It's the Rock's brand of tequila. It's
Terramana.
Very good.
Sounds fantastic.
Well, sadly,
it definitely gets you drunk. I can 100% confirm.
I mean, same.
Josh, I plead the fifth.
Sadly, Terramana doesn't make for a good name, so I just found Don Julio, and that was the first name that popped into my head.
Yeah. I was going to say Chris pleads the fifth and Josh drank a fifth. So
I think I drank more than
a fifth. A little more. Also realizing Don Julio is $200 a bottle. So
I mean, depends on the bottle of Don Julio.
It depends on the bottle. I'm Josh.
Don
I'm a bartender.
Blanco isn't that expensive.
Oh, God. G says, big shout out to Le'Veon Bell. Good run. Good little run Lev Bell had. Did he do anything? And I fell asleep in the second half
No, he got
of that game.
cut before the game.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Because they activated Gio Bernard and Fournette.
Oh. Well, G was actually at that game, so he got to witness a great game. Went down, visited his friend.
He might have sat by Lev Bell.
up in the 400s at Raymond James Stadium. Okay. Before we get into all the madness that was this past weekend, Giants have a new GM, Joe Shane. That's not how you pronounce his last name. That's not how it looks like. I'm aware of what you typed in the show sheet, but Schoen is not Shane. Schane is Shane. That's Schoen. There's literally a guy on our roster last year with the same spelling of a last name, and it was not pronounced Shane. Stupid. Oh, okay. Well, obviously, the Giants aren't going anywhere with that. Assistant GM of the Bills, new man in charge of the Giants. 80th rebuild since Tom Coughlin left. Who I assume that's Josh. That the Eagles fan. He and both the owner John Mara back Daniel Jones. So again,
they came right out today and said they're not going after Watson. So
imagine.
I mean,
no, again, this is. Anyway. This is assuming Watson is in charge, blah, blah, all this stuff. Seriously? Come on. Oh, God. It's incredible Mara's not gone. But one that's promising, the Bears, Chiefs Assistant Director of Player Personnel, Ryan Poles, agreed to be their next GM. So that one I feel is at least a little more promising.
Yeah.
But then I also realized that the defense he built was terrible. So, and, he lucked into Mahomes with Andy Reid because Reid had him on his radar for 2 years before he even drafted him. So We'll see. We'll see. It just feels like, again, Chicago has history, but again, just feels like a move that is going to blow up in the Bears' faces. I don't know. I'm here for it. The one that's definitely going to blow up. Who the hell hires the VP of football operations for the fucking Browns? The Minnesota Vikings do. That's who hires them.
I mean, if you look at some of their draft picks the last couple years, especially their early ones that have
Especially
fallen,
Baker Mayfield. Yeah. No, that's a great
No, he
draft
wasn't
pick.
part of that one because he was
Okay,
with San
fine. All right.
Francisco.
All right. That changed my
Yeah.
mind then.
He was with San Francisco.
Okay. That changes my mind then. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, I believe is how you pronounce this man's name. He's the new Vikings GM. And Saints fans can rejoice. No longer mediocrity in your town. Sean Payton retired, stepped away. I believe CBS said that they're targeting him, or Fox. One of the stations, I believe, is targeting him to be, I don't know if they said color guy or a main desk guy on one of the main productions, but Sean Payton most likely going to be not going far away from football, just going to be more in a broadcast role. Also, as a note, the Saints have the least projected salary cap space of any team in the league, $74 million over the cap, and I believe they were the number one team last year as well, around $60 million. So
is it the least amount of money, or are they the most in the negatives?
that's true, right? It's
Fair.
both ways. And I mean, to speak on the Packers, who we'll get to in a second, they are the second most in the red, I believe, at 47 million. So we'll get to that after we discuss the first game from the weekend.
Wait, I want to throw one thing in. It's not official, but it's official. How do we feel about Leftwich to the Jags?
I love it.
I feel like that's a good
indifferent.
fan move. Yeah, I feel like it's a good fan move, right? Former quarterback of the Jags. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. He wasn't like a world beater with the Jaguars,
played well.
but he solid.
He was a top 10 pick for the Jags. He was a solid starter for 6 years, give or take.
He played
Coming
with
out of the
Jones.
MAC.
Played with Jones Drew. He had one good receiver during his time, I think. Right? I'm forgetting who it is, but I think he had a double last name. I'm forgetting, but he played with MJD. Beginning of the franchise for the most part. So I like it. I don't know how much I think he can be a good head coach, but I mean, test it out. And if you're Jacksonville, what the hell do you have to lose?
Exactly.
What do you have to lose at this point?
This puts cheeks in the seats and
that's the thing. I think it helps sells tickets because former player for your team.
With you mentioning hyphenated last name, I can only imagine that you mean Mike Sims Walker.
Mike Sims Walker,
not
yes, sir.
define him as a good wide receiver.
Yeah, right.
So I'm
he
thinking
did
of
have Jimmy Smith. He had Jimmy Smith his rookie year,
right at the tail end there. Yep.
Wait, Jimmy Smith, the
tail end of
safety
Jimmy
from the
Smith.
Niners?
Yeah,
Jimmy-
his first 2 years actually. Yeah.
No. Jimmy Smith was probably the best wide receiver. Oh, okay. I was like, come on, Chris.
He's probably the best wide receiver in Jags history, right?
Oh, without
Him
doubt.
and Keenan McCardle, yeah.
Yeah. They played
two are-
duo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan, anything else on
No, I just wanted to I know it's not confirmed and we tend to focus on what's confirmed, but
it would be
I thought it was a good
surprising.
signing.
It would be surprising if he doesn't. So
Yeah.
Okay. So the Cowboys suck. I didn't really get to talk about that too much. So my overall Super Bowl bet dead. But the Bengals to win. Let's go. I was jumping in my seat 37,000 feet above sea level because Ryan Tannehill shit the bed. Derrick Henry poo-poo in the Titans defense. Once again, terrible. So, felt so good to watch the Titans lose. Anybody else want to chime in on the Bengals parade? Who else is on the Bengals bandwagon? I know Ryan is because he can't be on the Cardinals bandwagon anymore.
No. To be fair, the Bengals and the Chiefs are the only people who can win me money now. I threw Bengals in at the beginning of the playoffs, so go Bengals, go Chiefs.
Well, I bet Bengals Cowboys and in the Super Bowl, and the Cowboys decided to just forget how to play football.
Oh, you bet it.
I
at the
bet,
beginning of the
yeah,
playoffs?
Super Bowl
Okay.
matchup. If I just
Okay.
bet the Bengals to maybe be in the Super Bowl, I'd be somewhere,
Bengals
but-
were plus 1,700 at the beginning of the playoffs. So
Mm.
FanDuel, because they just got in Ohio, gave me $100. Shout out to FanDuel if you want to give us money. Because they just got into New York, rather, they gave me a free $100. I threw 35 on the Bengals, so it's like
Yeah,
550.
Nice. Chris, Josh. Before I continue, anything else on the Bengals, Titans?
Actually, I want to
disappointment
ask
you
Chris
saw?
a question as a big Derrick Henry guy. I mean, coming off injury, you get what you get, but he didn't look Derrick Henry-esque in that game. Do you get similar feels? Or
Yeah, but I mean, Derrick Henry's one that, wears down defenses over the course of a season. It seemed like it was
Exactly.
almost like an early game season kind of, I didn't see his stats, but I imagine they're like maybe 4 yards a carry, if that.
I think he didn't. I don't think he.
I think he was 12 for 42 when I checked. I mean, just under 4 yards carry.
Foreman did look better, though. He did. That much is true. Deontay Foreman did look better.
It's funny, and I hadn't watched the Titans in a while. I didn't realize Deontay Foreman was growing his hair out exactly like Derrick Henry, and so I was like, "Oh, that looked good." And then it wasn't Henry, and I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
He had the exact same hair as Derrick Henry the moment he started.
And
It's
Foreman's
really
a big
uncanny.
dude too. Like,
I just want to throw out real quick. It was 20. I was gonna say I thought he was barely over 3. It was 20 carries for 62 yards. So,
oh my god.
yeah,
Okay.
it was lumbering.
no, Henry did not look good at all.
He
Honestly,
looked big
that
and
whole
slow.
offense, that offense looked so out of sync. It was almost like they should have just kept him on the bench and just kept flowing with what was working.
I noticed I've gotten into this thing lately. I pay attention to like players' body reaction and facial reaction. Henry looked upset and angry and disgusted like every time they showed him. And I didn't know what to take of it, if it was the offensive line, if he wasn't feeling well, or if it was just
Ryan,
his performance. It was
Let me
just,
ask you this. Wouldn't you be angry and upset if you had to be behind Ryan Tannehill?
fuck Ryan Tannehill.
That's my point. That's my point. So wouldn't you be upset if you were behind Ryan Tannehill? And Elixirs brings up a good question. I did want to bring this up because I don't know if people are going to read too much into this. And there was also a graphic that was put out that in 9 games, Derrick Henry had X stats. And in the 9 games without him, there were very similar stats between the 3 fill-in guys from him.
It's
Now,
not the touchdowns.
just not the touchdowns.
Yeah.
Now, I don't buy into that so much, but it is an interesting stat to take into account. So Elixirs brings up, and thank you for foreshadowing, and
the
thank you
question
for
of the
listening as
offseason
always.
right here. So.
Who are we taking as the 102 in a standard? Now, I think everyone here, I know me, Josh, and Ryan are all Jonathan Taylor at 101. Chris, I don't know if you're still McCaffrey.
Yeah,
Are you
standard?
again? This is a standard, right?
Yeah.
So would you put
Standard
Henry
JT.
and then Henry? I'm okay with. I'm okay if you take Henry at the 101 in a standard because he got 20 carries and he played what, half the snaps, not even probably.
Yeah.
So
Coming off a
on any
broken
given day he's good for
metatarsal.
30 carries. And at that point, if he's averaging 3 yards a carry, it's still 90 yards, and he's going to find his way into the end zone.
Yeah, I would probably still, it's close, but I'm not going to read too much into this game given, his broken metatarsal he's coming back from first game back. I probably would still take him 102 in a standard.
Can we also talk about how Elixirs uses my term full peeper in the question? I appreciate that. Josh and Ryan, we're all on the Jonathan Taylor at 101. Would you take anyone over Henry in a standard at 102? And if it was a if it was a PPR league, would you change that? My guess is yes. I would probably go Eckler at 2 if it was any form of a PPR. But
I'm going to be honest. I think this is not going to be a popular answer. I think I would go Najee Harris.
That's
in a
fair.
standard over Derrick Henry. I know, Chris, I don't even want to have the fight with you, Chris, because me and you mildly got into it when Henry got hurt. But like, I'm scared of Henry now. I'm not going to rank Henry outside of my top 5, but I'm probably still going to avoid him in drafts.
That's fair.
Hi,
Mine
Kelly.
was more to, I was just going to say mine was more to Najee being 102 in the standard considering a lot of his production this year was, PPR.
Yeah, still 1,300 rushing yards behind shit. I'm just hoping they get better. I would probably gamble on the kid. I completely get Henry. Honestly, Henry would probably be my fourth. I would go McCaffrey still over, even in a standard.
Okay, so Kelly, welcome to the show. I know we had you on, 2-3 weeks ago now? When was that show?
She was shooting golf. She doesn't have time to pay attention.
I know,
to
exactly. Well,
idiosyncrasies.
here's the thing. I am waiting for my golf invite in the mail. I have plane tickets ready, credits on Delta. I'm ready to fly there. A peeper on this show is very simply a PPR league. I don't know why I started that. I think I just started saying random words, and PPR looks like peeper without the E's. So here we are. Welcome to 2022, where we just make up words.
I like it.
It's great. Any other thoughts on Bengals Titans besides that? If the Bengals get any resemblance of an offensive line, they will drop 55 points a game.
If the Bengals build an offensive line, they are going to run through the AFC.
And here's the fun part to me about this team, especially going into the next season and even 2023. They have this offense locked up.
Yep.
All they have to do is spend draft picks on offensive line and plug and play defenders.
And they didn't have to blow through their draft to build this offense. They built their shit through the draft. So.
I wonder who was saying, to take Jamar Chase over Penny Sewell.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I made the joke. Well, I made the joke on the quarterback show that it feels like the best decision ever, but I don't know that Joe Burrow feels that way every Monday.
9 sacks. 9 sacks.
Yeah.
And also,
getting sacked 9 times, there's no reason for the Bengals to win that football game.
Nope.
No.
Except Ryan Tannehill is ass.
Yeah. Also, I would like to say Field Yates put out a tweet about Jeffrey Simmons and how good of a performance he put on and how he was in a contract year and how he deserves $25 million plus part ownership of the team. Field, chill, dude. He was going up against a peewee football team offensive line.
Don't disparage.
Hey, you did not let me finish. I am not hating on Jeffrey Simmons. He is not the highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL. Not even the highest paid defensive lineman.
Well, here's the thing, though. The way contracts go, though, does he deserve to set the bar this year?
No.
I mean, really?
No. I think he deserves – I think the bar is what at this point? 23, 24? What does Aaron Donald make? Yeah. I think Simmons deserves 20. He's very good. He is not Aaron Donald. That's not how it works. But here's the thing. Ryan. He's going to get the 25. Because that's how contracts work.
Well, that's what So you agree with me because that's what I meant. How contracts work is someone resets the bar every single year. Should it be Simmons this year?
He should definitely be making more than Chris Jones.
100%. But here's the thing. I don't think he should set the bar. He's going to set the bar.
I agree.
Because that's what happens.
Yep.
That's just
Chris,
what
go
happened.
ahead. Chris, you had thoughts.
I was just going to say, I seen him absolutely destroy our offensive line when we played against Tennessee during the year. He just bull rushing everyone. So I when you said, this performance was against like a peewee football offensive line, I was like, well, our offensive line is rated pretty well, and he destroyed us.
I don't want to discount Jeffrey Simmons. I'm pretty sure I had Jeffrey Simmons as my IDP going into the season, I believe, and I had him his rookie year. One of the two. But I like Jeffrey Simmons. I had Jeffrey Simmons in multiple leagues. He's fantastic.
He was when we all lost TJ Watt that week. He was the guy I was able to go get and replace him. So.
Yeah. Again, it's not that I don't like him. I don't think people need to be talking about him in the same sentence as Aaron Donald. That's all.
But the way NFL contracts work,
it's going to happen. So, it's just going to happen. Yeah. And that's unavoidable. Okay. Next game. Yeah. Isn't it so fun watching Aaron Rodgers just lose? Is it just me, or does everyone just
that was a lot of fun.
More so this year, but that's a different story.
Josh, I see your comment. We've gone way too long in the divisional round. I don't care. I don't care. I will fly through your accountability later on in the show. Do I look like I give a shit right now? Do I look like I care?
Oh, we haven't even got to the
Yeah,
We've got to a good
we
game.
touched on the game that I know is going to take up 20 fucking minutes, and
We're on
already
the
20 minutes
shitty
into the
games.
show.
Yeah, these games suck that we're talking about. Okay, I didn't watch. I watched like half of the first quarter.
I don't know that we need to spend
driving.
much time on this game.
Aaron
Game was
Rodgers
boring.
losing
The Packers
in the
lost.
divisional round was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Oh, there is a God.
Aaron Rodgers to Denver. That's all you need to know. Get it.
The
over
Packers squandering Devontae Adams is a crime of the century. So
Can we just talk about no one had more than one catch on the team outside of Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams?
yeah. Aaron Jones looked good though. Got that hype train fired right back up for next year though. Rodgers won't be there. So
Yeah. Well, neither will Aaron Jones. So.
no, Jones re-signed last year.
That's a hefty cut.
Yeah.
If,
I mean,
dead cap hit if they cut
I'm
him.
thinking they try and trade him. Is what I.
Well, they still have to take that cap hit if they trade him, unless
Sure.
they can get. Yeah, no chance.
I don't know, man.
You made that commitment last year.
Well, Devontae and Aaron Rodgers are gonna
Gone.
say deuces and see ya. So, okay. Bucks Rams again. We already said before the show. Congrats,
Wonderful
Chris.
game. Yeah.
Congrats, Chris. The Rams
you.
will be hosting the NFC Championship and most likely hosting the Super Bowl if all goes well. So
Hopefully, I don't want to get out too far out in front. But
I
just it feels good. Feels good.
I can't
Brady's
believe how bad
haunted the Rams for 20 years.
Yeah.
I can't believe how bad I missed on them projecting for the season. Like I had them, I think, third in the division. So that's one I flat out missed. Congratulations to Chris. I mean, congratulations to Matt Stafford. What the hell, man?
Yeah, dude,
He deserves
Stafford
it.
looks revitalized.
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, we know he hit that lull in the middle of the season, but he got it out of his system because
But I'm just gonna throw-
he has been on fire these playoffs.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Doesn't it just feel though like we're waiting for Stafford to just hit that wall again because it can come at
We talked
time.
about this on DFS and Chill on Sunday. That like when is he going to hit that three?
When's he gonna hit that
interception
wall?
game? So yep.
'Cause he's never played this long. He has never played this long in his career. So when's he going to hit that wall? I hope he doesn't because I do believe he
I think they're
deserves a ring. After everything he went through in Detroit, he deserves a ring, right? He deserves a ring. He's done it right. Played well. I don't think Sean McVay
All my
deserves a
money's
ring,
on the
but-
all my money's on the AFC, so I'm gonna have to root
Wait,
against that.
Sean McVay doesn't deserve a ring.
I think he's incredibly
Chris,
overhyped.
fighting words.
Chris, have you met Joe Zolo?
He's incredibly overhyped.
Okay, so you say he's overhyped, but I had to endure 12 years of not winning
Okay, yeah.
8 or
Of
more
7 or 9.
games until Sean McVay comes to town.
All right, hold on. You're telling me you didn't love Jeff Fisher? That's what you're
Jeff
telling me.
Fisher,
You're telling me you didn't enjoy going.
Linehan.
You didn't enjoy going 8-8 every season. You didn't enjoy that.
Scott Linehan, no thank you. Spagnuolo, good. McDaniels were good.
You mean Steve Spagnuolo? Isn't he the DC for the Chiefs right now?
He is, yeah.
With that incredible defense that just allowed 36
Well,
points.
Speaking of incredible defenses, I cannot remember for the life of me. Is it Raheem Morris in Tampa Bay?
Yeah. No, Morris
No,
is
Todd Bowles.
Todd
the
Bowles.
Rams DC. Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles, yep. No more job interviews. How the fuck do you call a blitz on the corner who's supposed to be covering Cooper fucking Cup? You deserve to lose. You deserve to never win a game again, and you don't deserve to be a head coach if you're that stupid. So,
Wasn't correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think so. I think this was a year after he was fired. The Jets ran an all-out blitz against the Raiders twice.
That wasn't him.
That wasn't him.
him.
Okay. Yeah, that was
No.
the year after.
Yeah,
he
Bowles
left.
had been in Tampa already by then.
Okay.
That was
That's what I thought.
What's his face? The
Greg Williams,
yeah,
Bountygate.
Yeah, Greg Williams.
Bountygate guy.
Okay,
But yeah,
thank you.
I just-
Sorry.
I saw that play and literally was like, the words I said to my wife, because my wife knows my family loves Cooper Cup. My little brother, huge Cooper Cup guy.
Good guy.
And I was like, what the hell? I was like, they blitzed the guy covering Cooper fucking Cup. And Marlia, who hasn't watched football in years, was like, why would they do that? I go, well, they lost. So there you go. So
It's bold to just blitz anyways because you were getting torched by that one guy all game. It's even bolder to blitz the guy who was covering him.
When all you gotta do is just stop him, get the game to overtime.
And then even bolder to not double cover Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
So
here you go, safety. Cover the best wide receiver in football. Have fun with that.
Yeah. Antoine Winfield, great young safety. Not going to cover him. Probably not going to cover anybody in the NFL because he's a safety.
I'm with Kelly on her damning of Todd Bowles.
You also deserve to always get blueberry muffins with like one blueberry in it for the rest of your life. That's mean, Kelly.
Perfect.
That's mean. Would you put the blueberry specifically directly in the middle, or is it like on the outside?
First bite. Kind of deal? First bite, so that the rest of the muffin is just muffin, and you feel like shit. How every Buccaneers fan felt at the end of that game. Enjoy your muffin, Matt.
I believe
I'd almost shove it all the way to the bottom, so it's the last thing that you.
No, the last bite of something being good redeems it. No, it has to be.
Because then you ultimately give up on the muffin before you get to the blueberry.
Oh, I don't know if Todd Bowles is the kind of guy who gives up on anything. He blitzed the corner covering Cooper fucking Kupp on the last play of the game. He's not a give up kind. He's a moron.
Let's
talk some overtime.
Let's talk some overtime. Okay, sorry, real quick.
So
I'm nice and riled up right now.
Sorry, hold on. I wanted to further prove my point about Jeffrey Simmons. 8.5 sacks. I'm sorry, that does not deserve $25 million a year. And when 6 of those came in 2 games, I'm just saying.
If you compare him to other D tackles, 8.5 is probably a good number.
Yeah,
right. But he moves around a lot, though.
That's fair.
Yeah. Like Aaron Donald looks really good for a defense tackle, but he also moves around.
Well, Aaron Donald is.
He's also Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald's really good for a quarterback. I'm sure if he tried it out.
Okay, so the game of every young person's life that forgot about Super Bowl 51.
Oh, 51 was good. I put it with Rams Titans. We already talked about this a little bit. So
with 99.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah, falling a yard short is a pretty good game.
What a game.
Yeah. So, okay. So I feel like we don't even need to talk about first, 59, 58 minutes of the game. Actually, I would like to pose a question.
59-47.
I would like to pose a question. In people's rankings going into next year, is Gabriel Davis a top 5 wide receiver? Because that's what it feels like in my loins. That someone
I saw a ranking today that has him in tier 1 by himself. Clear joke.
I mean, it was clearly a joke.
So listen, right? Because Davis has done this to us before. He did this to us last year when he looked really good at the end of the season. Now, we talked about bold strategies from Todd Bowles and blitzing, sending 6. I believe Steve Spagnuolo is the DC for the Chiefs. It's very bold to just, not throw a secondary out there for the entire game. I really feel that was a bold strategy out of him, and then just decide, hey, Gabe Davis has caught 2 touchdowns on us. You know what we should let him do? Catch 2 more in 50 seconds. Yeah. That's what we should do. How do you? I don't get that.
The people who are all in on this Gabe Davis thing, he wasn't the second option. He clearly wasn't treated like the second option, and you were going up against a Swiss cheese secondary. He
wasn't treated as a third option.
Thank you.
Really.
Yeah. And for the record, I will say, KC did a good job of keeping Diggs in check.
And how many times have we talked about this, specifically against KC's offense? If you're going to hold a guy like Diggs in check, somebody's going to feast. It's not always going to be 4 touchdowns to one player, but my God, the hype around Gabriel Davis, where people are like, next year, Emmanuel Sanders is gone, Cole Beasley is probably gone. I'm like, all that means he's going to get fucking double teamed like he should have been against the Chiefs. They just couldn't afford to do it. So.
And everyone talking about how good of a route he ran, that post route where he caught his 4th touchdown against Mike Hughes. You guys understand that was just a normally run post route. There was nothing special about that. Mike Hughes is just a bottom 5 corner in the NFL.
Was Hughes the one who fell down? Was Hughes the one who fell down as well?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. He's the one who fell down and looked like he got hit in the head with a 1,000-pound rock. Like, what is that coverage? He turns to the outside on a post route. cut him, burn the contract. He does not deserve to play in the championship.
Well, and that's the other issue
What
with
are you
KC and KC. We've talked about this with Sorensen. KC put safeties out there who are out there to hit. And so it's not going to work in coverage. So.
No, Matthew can cover, and then Matthew got hurt. So
yeah, exactly. I didn't start any fights with anybody, but there was one in particular. I don't want to get too much into it because I'm not trying to create beef, but someone basically victory lapped an article they wrote in the preseason about him being a dynasty buy. And I'm like, he was shit this entire season. And now in week 21, where it doesn't matter, you're victory lapping. I'm like, come on.
It's funny you say that because I was going to put Gabriel Davis as a hit on my sleepers just because of this one.
I would have fucking quit the show. I'm like, you motherfucker.
I was gonna put it there and be like, can I put Gabriel Davis as a hit because he got 4 touchdowns in a game that didn't matter in fantasy? Is that possible?
That was great timing of saying that, Joe. I was so hoping, Ryan, you were gonna spit that out all over your computer.
Laptop gone.
That was great. So okay, so. I'll wrap this up because
I say we spent a half an hour already.
Well, no, I'm gonna wrap it up because I know everyone's overtime thoughts. Chris, you believe overtime rules should change, right? You think overtime rules should change. Both offense should at least touch the football.
The Bills didn't lose that game in regulation. The Chiefs didn't win it either. Just saying.
Very true. Ryan, you are the side of play fucking defense. There's two sides to football. Josh, you are on the side of Chris as well. Overtime rules need to be changed. I am both sides. Overtime rules need to be changed. Both offenses deserve to touch the football. Play fucking defense. There are two sides.
And neither team played defense. Let's be real.
Neither of them.
And I get it. And like I said, I don't like the overtime rules, but my biggest issue is every new rule, and even Chris, your idea of just making it a full second possession. And that way, the second team gets an advantage because you know what you have to do. So, I mean,
But it's just like baseball. So, for example, baseball, going to 10th inning, you don't win the game by scoring runs in the top of the 10th. The other team still has the opportunity to score the same amount or more or less.
I wonder what it would be like.
Say, what if you just do away with extra points, make them go for 2?
I was going to say no more kicking.
Yeah. Because at that point, it's all right. You scored the touchdown. All right. Next,
you know what I would think would be interesting?
2-point wins it. So
you know what I think would be interesting? What if during the regular game we got rid of extra points? I wonder the decrease in ties we might see if that were the case. Because you're dealing with 6s, 2s, and 3s, and I feel like your number tree expands greatly if everyone's not getting 7 on every play.
Yeah. No, you're right there. To me, the easy solution is you still play the 15-minute. You keep the overtime, whatever rules there are the same. Just give both offenses the chance to touch the ball. If they both score touchdowns, guess what? It's sudden death from there on out. It doesn't matter.
Wins, and then defense plays a part.
And then defense.
Well, I kind of like the idea of the most fair idea I heard was if the game ends in a tie in regulation, add 5 or 10 minutes back to the clock, but pick up right where you left off. So if that team was about to score, they keep the ball. You just keep playing football. And that, I feel like, is the fairest of all of them.
I'm still on board with 10-minute or 15-minute overtime clock because both teams need to touch the ball. And then, I mean, you could even just do no clock and drop the play clock to 30 seconds and just say, both offenses, you have a chance to touch the ball now.
Well, Joe, you follow soccer. They do that whole thing where they add the dead time back to the end of the game. That's kind of what I wouldn't mind seeing in the NFL. So,
soccer's stupid. But yeah, sure. I mean,
there's ways to fix it is what
it's a better overtime rule than what we currently have. Like I said, I'm not defending.
There's ways to fix it and make it more fair.
Yeah. I'm not defending overtime in general. I understand the unfairness of it, and I've seen statistics both ways. And Kelly, you kind of bring up here, should the defense win if they prevented a touchdown? But Keenan Allen, my king, brought up the football is the only sport where the defense can score a touchdown. So the defense can literally win that game. And so in a way, the defense, yes, it all goes that way. me and Chris had our wonderful argument. We don't need to bring it on the air about the last 13 seconds. And it is what it is. We can all agree the Bills should have played better. The prevent defense on that first play to Tyreek Hill was criminal, and it is what it is. I actually agree with Chris. It would have been a much better game if Josh Allen had had a chance to touch the ball. But my only defense is our entire lives, we've heard three phases of the game. But by changing the overtime rule, you are taking accountability, and we're all about accountability, though we haven't got to it yet. We're taking accountability away from the defense. And it's like, you fucked up. It is what it's the worst stereotype in life. It is what it is. I'm fine with the overtime rules exactly how they are. Play fucking defense. So
last thought for me on overtime. It's just like the NFL halfway fixed it when they went from, first team to kick a field goal wins. If you kick a field goal, the other team gets the ball, and they could either kick a field goal, extend the game, score a touchdown, win, or turn the ball over and lose. Now just make it for touchdowns too.
No, I'm not arguing with you, Kelly. Hold on. Your chat privileges are over. That is the worst idea. No. That is not football. That in no way makes any sense. The answer is no.
I don't agree with that either.
I do
college
agree
is
with,
wild.
Yeah, I do heavily agree with Ryan on that. Again,
yeah.
Both teams touch the football, and guess what? If you can't stop the same fucking offense you've seen probably 10 times that game, one time in overtime, on their second turn in overtime, you don't deserve to win at that point. You don't. Your defense doesn't deserve to win. Your team doesn't deserve to win.
That's my thing. Is I just feel like we're taking a lot of onus off of the defense. But I mean, again,
I love holding.
It's a way better game. Yeah, it's a way better game if Josh Allen touches the ball. So I'm not fully against it. It's one of my favorite sayings. It's the worst overtime rule, except every other overtime rule I've heard so far. So
I just want to end on this, and then we'll get into the accountability.
Yes,
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
if they march down the field in 13 seconds, how does squib kicking help or hurt it?
Because they would have touched the ball and the clock would have ran.
They still had 2 timeouts. It wouldn't have fucking mattered.
But no, because
they don't have 13 seconds.
Josh,
so they have
11. Yeah.
Josh, they killed the clock with 3 seconds left. That's when they kicked the field goal. They killed it. They had 3 seconds left on the clock. A squib kick probably going to take at least 3 seconds off the clock.
It still stopped. It's the clock still starts the moment a player touches the ball. If a player grabs it and gives themselves up, it's only going to knock a second off of the clock.
No, sure, but he also may give himself up, not at the 25-yard line. Yeah. He might give himself up at the 15 or the 10.
But if you squib kick it, likely they're going to end up in midfield.
Or the oldest saying in all football, the only thing the prevent defense prevents is you from winning.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. All right. Hits, wide receiver accountability. I like having Kelly in the chat. This is fun.
Yeah, Kelly crushing the show today.
I mean, obviously, then
way better than anything on the show sheet, no doubt.
Our usual Carrington elixirs always showing up. Yep. We appreciate you guys. Elixir says just do a coin toss.
That's what it was.
Coin toss. Tails never fails. I'm pretty sure the call was heads.
Tails absolutely failed this time.
If the Patriots called 11 straight, Matt Slater called 11 straight heads calls in overtime. Won every single thing. Was 11 and 0.
If the Bills were better at coin tosses, can we talk about that?
Coin tosses win championships.
Matthew Slater in his whiz of a brain.
I feel like we should put that on a t-shirt. Coin tosses win championships.
Coin tosses win championships. All right, listen, I love all these. Coin toss, rock, paper, scissors. Hopscotch.
Carrington doesn't even want him to play the game. He just wants the coin toss.
No, Elixirs wants the coin toss.
It's about player safety.
Can we add in rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock? Actually, can we add in the double from Big Bang Theory? Okay. Some hits on wide receivers. Cooper Kupp. Chris, you had him in the top 5. You didn't see anyone else out in the
I said
community.
that
had
might
him
be
as
the
high.
most impressive part of the entire show. Let's
Yeah.
be perfectly honest.
Now
I try to tell people.
Now I would like to ask Chris, did you
Nobody
have him
listened
for
because
like
you're a homer, Chris.
yeah. Chris, did you have him for like 700 points also in your projections?
No, because then people would have just called me a homer. So I had to be conservative here.
How many points did he end with?
685.
Or something.
Yeah, it was absurd. Oh,
I'm close to it.
yeah, someone pull it up.
439.5 according to fantasy data.
That's absurd.
96 points more than
Then the next guy who was
Devontae Adams.
Devontae. That's ridiculous. Chris T Higgins projected him to be 23, finished 24. I'm happy to see that. I had him as a nice little wide receiver 2 guy that everyone was kind of overlooking. CD Lamb, you projected him at 17, finished 19. Mike Evans, you were 2 off on his targets, projected 116. He had 114, 4 off on his receptions, and you were within 100 yards of his receiving. You had Diggs off by 4 targets, Metcalf off by 1, and you had Debo over Ayuk.
I'll pat you on the back on that one.
Smart
'cause that
guy.
was definitely
Smart guy
Josh
right
and I
there.
it went back and forth on that one.
Smart
a
guy.
few
Chris,
times.
Chris, that's a 5-head play right there. Brandon
Yeah, I was gonna
Ayuk,
say
garbage.
that was all Joe at the beginning of the season. I didn't buy in myself. So.
Didn't buy into the
Oops.
Ayuk at all. Josh, correct on 2 of the top 5. You had Jefferson and Devontae Adams. 4 of the top 12. Add in Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs. 14 of the top 24. Not going to list them all. Off by 8 yards on Godwin. Adam Thielen, for all the regression talk, you were pretty damn close. You had him at 111, 68, 819, and 10 touchdowns. That was your projected. He had 95 targets, 67 catches, 726 yards, and 10 touchdowns. You nailed the touchdowns. 1 reception off, a lot of targets off, but pretty close on the receiving yards at least.
And the rankings too. He was. I had him projected 29.
Yes.
He finished 28. So
yeah. Marvin Jones finished wide receiver 34. You projected him at 35, off by 2 targets, and you hit the 73 receptions. Off by 12 yards on Brandon Cooks. Close on Elijah Moore, off by 3 receptions, 6 targets, and 4.6 fantasy points. Hit the touchdowns and receptions for Devonta Smith. You were just had him projected at wide receiver 47. He ended up wide receiver 30.
a lot of that too, though, was the wide receivers in front of him getting hurt or
Yes.
not getting hurt. So.
Yep. You mostly missed just on the TDs for Chase Claypool. You had him at 7. He only had 2. Basically, everything else was within good range. After 3 years of trying, you finally got Deontay Johnson's touchdown receptions correct.
Perfect.
I think the issue previously is he's dropped the other ones. So,
Probably.
yeah. He had, what did he have, Josh? There's a comma in between these numbers.
Well, yeah. 11,
Yeah.
10 total yards.
Yeah, 11, 10 versus
1167 was
11.
the actual.
Okay, eight touchdowns.
Targets, receptions, touchdowns.
I'm so confused. Touchdowns.
I kept
8.
mine very simple.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, congrats, Josh, on jerking the
Getting
schlong
your
of
guy
Deontay
right.
Johnson all these years and finally getting it right.
I know the sad
guess.
part is I actually under projected him, if you can believe that. So
169 targets is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I had him at 147. I thought that was high. So
How many he
And
had?
just
That's
cracked
probably
1,000 yards.
yeah. Well, I mean, Ben barely cracked 2 yards on those passes he was throwing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, outside of Cooper Kupp, he had to have had the most targets in the NFL. Correct?
I don't believe so, actually. Hang on.
Really? That surprises me.
He was tied for second. Him and Adams.
Yeah,
at
him and Adams were
169.
both at 169.
And then Jefferson 165. Yeah, there were actually 6 players over 160 targets, and Tyreek was at 159.
What did Kupp finish with in targets?
191.
Jesus. Yeah. That's gross.
It's amazing.
That's gross. Ryan, you were correct on 1 of the top 5.
Devontae Adams,
Was
baby.
it Devontae Adams?
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, if you don't have Adams in your top 5. 5 of the top 12, 13 of the top 24. Keenan Allen, my write-in vote for 2024 president. Wide receiver 11, right on the nose. You missed by just 4 fantasy points. Terry McLaurin, you even wrote a cautionary tale. You had him at 19. He was wide receiver 25. You had him lower than most, and you still gave him 27 too many points. Chris Godwin, you had him at 13. He finished at 15. Missed 3 games, though, so most likely, if he played in those games, would have probably played above
closer.
wide receiver
Yeah.
13, if not close. Others overstated the too many miles narrative. Doesn't matter when you throw more than any other team in the league, 729 times, I believe, in the regular season. So
I just want to point out, because I know Chris said that he was the highest on Kupp amongst us. I think I was the highest on Justin Jefferson among us too.
I had Jefferson at 8.
It was hard to not be above me. I had him at 15.
Yeah, I had him at 8.
Yeah, I had him at 3, so he finished.
I drafted him as my wide receiver 1.
I bought into every trap play. So DeAndre Hopkins was my wide receiver 1 because I drank Arizona's Kool-Aid, which Joe will tell you was a huge
Cliff
mistake.
Kingsbury Kool-Aid, baby.
Yep. Stephon Diggs, who, while good, still had a down season. AJ Brown, who couldn't stay healthy, and then Tyreek was my number 5. He was good enough. He just didn't crack it. So,
wow. Yeah, Ryan was heavy on the Cliff Kingsbury Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Big
It
time.
expired at week 7.
yeah, clearly.
It's a good alliteration, though.
Tough.
Yeah, I do. It's something we may have to take with us.
Yeah, I was looking at what I had Christian Kirk projected at, because I was pretty close on targets, and I had the yards per carry or yards per catch, like pretty dead on. I was about 10% off on catch percentage though. Like he ended up catching like 75% of the passes. So I actually flipped in the projections. If I actually nail that a lot closer, he's pretty dead on.
Well, the reason Kirk kept his catches up so high was because the first game Colt McCoy fills in as a backup, he's John Elway. So in that one game, he proceeded to play very well. Also, Ryan, there's no AJ Green mentions.
Only missed him by 10 points. I knew we were going to be a big playoff discussion show, so I tried to keep mine short and sweet. So, but only missed him by 10 points. So,
love AJ Green. Okay, misses. Oh.
This will be a common theme amongst all of us.
No,
Go ahead and read it, Joe.
I just like to say, screw you guys for underestimating this guy. Okay, Hunter Renfro. You didn't have him in your top 40, Chris. That's straight up disrespectful.
I was gonna say now I have to go look because
that's disrespectful. All right, white chocolate. That's disrespectful.
All right, how bad?
Hey, Waller missed time. We know what happened with Ruggs.
Well, I mean, okay, I will say the Ruggs thing helped him a lot. I still think if Waller was there, Renfro wouldn't have done as well.
Oh, Joe, you're gonna be so mad.
Oh, you don't even want to know where I had it.
Okay, so we'll get to it, but just so everyone knows. So I had Bryan Edwards as my sleeper.
That's because you didn't want to pick the same guy.
Yeah, that's because as my sleeper for the Raiders, because I didn't want to pick the same guy who Hunter Renfro was our upside.
Yep.
If Hunter Renfro was on our upside, I would have smashed him as a sleeper. And let me get this straight. I had him in every league possible except the one where I played with my dad. Fuck him. He drafted him the round before I wanted him. I still finished higher than him in that league, so it really doesn't matter in the end. But yeah, like Hunter Renfro, oh God. Okay. Didn't even have him in your top 40, Chris. I can't wait to see where these two schmucks had him. You were too low on Jefferson. We already talked about that. You had him at 15. Amari Cooper, you had him at 7. Where did he finish?
27.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, Amari Cooper's back, ladies and gentlemen. Allen Robinson and Terry McLaurin. Everyone missed on Allen Robinson, I think, except for the majority on this show.
I say I definitely missed on him, but that's because how do you project that kind of train wreck? Like I didn't have him high.
I had him top 10, and obviously he did not finish there. So.
I had him as don't draft at all costs.
I didn't draft him, and I traded him to Josh in Dynasty, but
yeah, that was fun.
I mean, Dynasty, it's like he's only he's 27, right? He's still young, so there's a chance.
And we thought he was QB proof.
It's like Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, Nick Foles aren't really helping his case. He had a touchdown this year, right?
3, I think.
so.
3?
I want to say
3 more. 3 more than Cole Kmet. That's interesting.
and
only 1. I apologize. So one more
hey, you can multiply Kmet's touchdowns by 1,000. He would still have more than Cole Kmet. You know what's funny? Jameer Byrd had more impactful plays.
Man, I
than Cole
can't
Kmet
wait
did.
till next week, and Joe just gets all the ripping out of Cole Kmet. It's gonna be great.
Someone already put him in their top 12 in their way too early rankings. You can shove that one right up where the sun don't shine, my friend. Okay, Josh, you want to tell me where the fuck you had Hunter Renfro, you dumbass?
72.
72?
Oh, I feel better. I had him at 66.
What the fuck, guys? Who the hell was around him? Who the hell was around him?
It was so hard to project that offense because you gave all the targets to Waller, and then there were no. Well, they threw the ball so much more than what I expected them to.
Ryan,
that is fair.
Ryan, who did you have in the low to mid 60s with him?
Well,
no, do not defend this. What are the names you had him with?
All right,
so I can overreact.
Nelson Aguilar.
I had
Nelson Aguilar,
Terrace Marshall,
bruh.
T.Y. Hilton.
Okay, that T.Y. Hilton could make that in 2 games with Houston. That's fine.
Emmanuel Sanders, Traquan Smith are the.
Traquan Smith. Go ahead, Chris. Who'd you have?
I had him at 76, and I did have him next to Aguilar, Rager, Traquan Smith,
Jalen Rager.
Yeah,
Jalen Rager.
He was the next one on my list.
the punt return specialist, TCU's finest. You had him next to fucking Hunter Renfro? Seriously? Jalen Rager had as many drops as Renfro had catches this season.
I just want to throw out, they threw the ball 70 more times than I had projected. So I
don't care.
I had him leading the team in targets outside of Darren Waller, if that makes any difference.
Okay, Josh. Too. Who the hell did you have next to Hunter Renfro?
So I had Rashad Bateman 2 spots ahead of him.
All right, so
I had Brian Edwards ahead of him. I did. I had him with the same amount of receptions. I had Jalen Waddle at 65. So
you're really bad at rankings. That's what I'm getting from this. Okay.
Rookies are hard. I'm not going to give you a hard time.
Yeah, rookies are definitely hard. Hey, I had Gabe Davis around the same area.
Well, he finished around there.
Gabe Davis, the greatest wide receiver.
Well, I had Debo at 58, Albert, to answer your question from the chat. So
at 58?
Whoa! Yeah. I was embarrassed to say I had him at 30.
No, Albert, that's where I had Ayuk.
Albert, I don't do rankings, but I took Debo primarily as a 3rd or 4th receiver.
So I'm not going to lie.
Take that as you will.
I felt like our first 2 shows, quarterback and running back, we really focused on the stuff we got right. I feel like this has been pretty well self-deprecating.
Look, this is why we do these accountability shows. Like, look, we fucking whiffed. It is what it is.
Listen, all this is solidifying is that people need to listen to me more on this show. Debo and Hunter Renfro. Hey.
Look, I had him as a top.
Josh missed on Jonathan.
Wide receiver 3, that's literally what he finished at. So I'm not going to apologize for having Ayuk where I had him. Did I have him as the number 1 guy for San Fran? Yes. So, yes, I completely.
Well, I accidentally.
When you look at everything with Debo, can he stay healthy? He didn't last year. He has a history of not staying healthy in college.
I also forgot to protect him at 60 carries and 8 rushing touchdowns.
Well, and that's the other side of it. Like, I mean, nobody in their right mind was going to give this guy 58 rushing attempts and 8 touchdowns.
You morons.
But at the same token, if you take that away, he's still the wide receiver 11. So everybody fucking.
I had him at 10 carries and 2 touchdowns in his rushing.
I had him at 12 carries and 2 touchdowns.
I had him as a guy who I wanted on my roster.
I wanted him too.
Fair. Which is 100% fair.
I'll never forget there was a draft where Ayuk went before me, and I took Debo, and I was upset about it. And man, did that team thank me for that.
I had
Jamar Chase at wide receiver 40.
Again,
I
don't
Higgins
fault people.
Really as the target guy.
That's about where I was too. Well, I was going to bring up Chase when we got to
25.
surprises, but Carrington and I had a really good conversation this week. In Dynasty, who would you rather have, Tyreek or Jamar? And the way I put it was, see, and I agree, but hold on. If you had Tyreek and someone offered you Jamar straight, are you just smashing accept then?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I would try to get some draft picks, but like
I would try and get on, maybe a couple thirds or something, a second.
So what I said was, no matter which one I have, I'm going to want more to get rid of them. And I don't know if it's that whole complex where you value the thing you have more than what you don't have. But like whichever one I had, I'd be like, ooh, the other one doesn't feel like enough for that. And so that's just where
I just look at it this way. If somebody's offering me Jamar Chase to get my Tyreek Hill, it's probably because they value Tyreek more. I am the opposite, so I am okay taking that head on.
Interesting.
And just doing an even swap.
So looking, I'll even play it this way. Looking at the divisions that they respectively play in.
That's fair.
The AFC West is on a rise, and the AFC North is on a downward trend. And also, this is the worst defense Baltimore's had in years. This is the worst defense Pittsburgh's had in a while. This is the Cleveland Browns. I don't really need to go more into that besides they're the Cleveland Browns. The Denver Broncos Patrick Surtain's for real.
I want to throw a comment out, though. I saw someone say that Aaron Rodgers makes the Denver Broncos a Super Bowl contender. Do we buy that?
No, he makes them an AFC Championship contender to which they then lose because that's Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think they're that close at all.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Here's the thing.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is undefeated in AFC championships. I don't know.
He is undefeated in AFC championships. That's true. That is true.
Not to mention a couple of things with the Tyreek Hill versus Jamar Chase thing. Of course, there's the low hanging fruit with, they're 5+ years apart. But, Jamar Chase has proven time and time and again that he can do this with Joe Burrow. Going back to college, they're both on rookie contracts. Tyreek Hill's contract is up this year. Do they extend him? After next year, sorry. Do they extend him? Is he a cap casualty to keep that $500 million Mahomes deal?
See, and this is the kind of humbling shit why I don't get into Dynasty, because that's a great point that I would have never considered. So.
Oh, I was just trying to go super in depth. I'm not that focused on anything. I'm just like, Jamar Chase sounds good to me.
I think at the same time, they're going to end up being very similar players, especially when you look at how that Bengals offense is built, because at any game, they can say, we're just going to run it with Mixon. Maybe we're going to take the underneath stuff with Boyd. Maybe this is a Higgins game. And at the end of the day, Chase is going to be very boom or bust. But those boom games, they're going to win you weeks. And
so is Tyreek, though. And so my
Tyreek's
thing
all
is,
boom or bust.
So at that point, why would you not rather have the younger guy?
Because I play Dynasty in a 2 to 3 year window. I always want more value. So that's why I'm saying it would be hard for me to move
again, if they're both boom or bust,
even value,
they're the same.
I didn't know Chris's, but that's the thing is, I admitted my fault in this. I value my guy more, and I'm not just gonna give you my guy. Like, fuck you, give me more.
But I mean, even in that 2 to 3 year window, I feel like they're fairly close enough where you could still take, Chase and not give up that much, even if he finishes behind Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, you're right.
And, you still have the player for many more years.
And I don't disagree with all this, but we're acting like Mahomes and Tyreek Hill don't have chemistry. Did we see how Tyreek Hill took that ball on that little cross route and outran the rest of the defense?
And then didn't get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, literally
for pointing at the corner.
That the sportsmanlike conduct penalty was initiated for.
Yeah.
And that the touchdown wouldn't have counted because that was before he got in the end zone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
So then it would have been a Travis Kelce touchdown.
It would have been a Travis Kelce tie. That's correct. Kel brings up a point that the chemistry between Chase and Burrow. I am a Jamar Chase. I think it's easier to stop Tyreek Hill in a high-low coverage than it is to stop Jamar Chase in a high-low coverage.
No.
Yes.
And Jamar Chase is my number one dynasty wide receiver. Just throwing that out there.
Ryan, why do you think it's easier?
It's if they could commit to Jamar Chase, they would shut him down just as easily.
I'm pretty sure the Titans committed a high-low double coverage to him, and he had over 100 yards. The Buccaneers committed a high-low double coverage to him in the Super Bowl. And with that shit secondary,
they did not commit double coverage to Jamar Chase in that game at all.
They were talking about it on the broadcast. They were hovering a safety over in his direction.
Yeah, but he's playing 7 yards back, and the corner's getting beat man to man. The safety did nothing in that. It was great route running by Jamar Chase. Is Jamar Chase a better route runner than Tyreek Hill? Absolutely.
There's your
answer. Tyreek Hill brings something to the field that nobody else brings to the field. So.
Yeah, sure. I'll take the 0.1 second lower 40 time of Jamar Chase for better route running.
In any given game,
And-
Jamar Chase might not be the best wide receiver on his own team.
I mean, again, no. That's just
I mean,
That's
we've
why
seen that
I would
a
agree with you.
bunch with
pure
we've
skill.
seen that a bunch with Tyreek Hill this year, especially down the stretch. Mecole Hardman and Byron Pringle were actually the wide receiver ones.
Byron,
down the stretch.
of actual receivers on the team, Byron Pringle has the best pure hands. That's saying a lot. Jamar Chase catches with his hands. Tyreek Hill catches with his body. I'm just saying. Also, Chase is bigger, better contested catch rate. Like, he can go up and get balls.
They
Tyreek
both
Hill
dropped
can't
the
do
same
that.
number of passes this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, Chase actually
Your
catches with. I'll take the guy who catches with it, who drops balls with his hands instead of the guy who drops balls who can't use his hands because he uses his body. There's more range of motion. You can catch the ball easier like that. I'm just saying. I'm not a Tyreek. I am a Tyreek Hill hater. I take that back. I'm 100%.
I say, yeah, you're 100% are.
I'm a Tyreek Hill
Let's
hater.
not deny that at all.
I've said it. I've said it since the Patriots started figuring out Tyreek Hill, and since the Bucs beat them in the Super Bowl. You play high-low on Tyreek Hill, game's over. Kansas City's offense can't function. It's that simple. You can't play high-low on Jamar Chase because that offense still functions. So you have to respect
especially with a defensive line not as low as the Buffalo Bills, where Mahomes can just run circles around them and then just run for a first down.
Yeah, 5 times this season, another wide receiver for the Bengals went over 100 yards. 1 time this season did it happen for the Chiefs.
Okay, name me another receiver on the Chiefs that finished inside the top 40 in fantasy football this year.
That's my point. I'm saying there are games where Jamar Chase isn't going to be the best wide receiver on his own team because he's going to get the defensive focus. And why wouldn't you just throw the ball to T Higgins? If you're choosing between
arguments for the Chiefs,
Travis Kelce,
they just go to Kelce. I mean,
okay.
So
plus,
we're talking wide receiver.
Their offense is good.
I mean, at the wide receiver position, sure, but I mean, there's any given week they can throw to, exactly. It really doesn't matter what position.
How many targets did Joe Mixon have?
Offense.
If we're going into running backs and tight ends now, Mixon adds to that same argument. So
it's still taking. You're talking about taking targets away from Chase. It's still taking targets away from Tyreek Hill.
Okay, T Higgins, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd taking targets away from Chase. Travis Kelce taking them away from Tyreek Hill.
Byron Pringle.
Brian Pringle had 40 fucking targets this year? Come on.
And some
I'm
games
just saying.
he was targeted. Mecole Hardman out of the backfield.
Whichever one I have. You see what you did, Carrington? Show is completely off the rails now.
I'm just.
Look, would you rather have Jamar Chase? Absolutely. But if I have Tyreek Hill and get offered Jamar Chase straight, I don't know that I accept that trade.
You always try and get more. I would accept
it. I would try and get a little more, but I think
I would accept the
trade. If that's the final offer, I'd probably accept it.
Yeah, I like it. He says Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, and I mean, do we even know
that
Jefferson...
to me is a better
Jamar Chase? Not even close.
Well, in Dynasty though, like is Justin Jefferson even going to be there in 2 years?
Is Kirk Cousins going to be there?
Kirk Cousins,
exactly.
Or Kellen Mond?
Yeah, I don't think Jefferson's going anywhere. I mean, Minnesota would be dumb to get rid of Jefferson. Like, they're going to make him a highly paid wide receiver. He's not going anywhere. Obviously, the big question is who's going to be throwing to.
Yes. Yeah. So in Dynasty, it's tough for Justin Jefferson. You know that Joe Burrow's not going anywhere. Now there's Jamar Chase. Probably not T Higgins. And they're just going to build an offensive line around those guys. So, Josh.
He gets sacked 9 times a game. You might be to worry about Joe Burrow going somewhere.
I mean, potentially. But one would hope over the next 2 seasons they would do something about that offensive line. Josh, you missed on Calvin Ridley. I mean, so did everybody. So that one.
My point more so was when he was playing, he did not perform like the wide receiver 1 overall that I projected him to be. So that's more where I'm going.
And it's just an indictment on Matt Ryan, who looks like absolute trash this year. So.
Yeah.
If only someone said he was going to look like garbage this year. Or every year, I guess, since that Super Bowl. Sung Sutton over Judy. I was with you on that train, but I did have Patrick as the sleeper, and he led the team in fantasy points.
Yeah, that's nice.
Timmy P.
Sutton led really in all other categories outside of touchdowns, but still. Yeah.
Timmy P. Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay, doubled. Kenny Golladay taking a page out of Cole Kmet's book with the 0 touchdowns this year. Amari Cooper, you doubt he's in Dallas next year. Ayuk over Debo and Higgins over Chase. Ryan, you have Cooper Kupp. You overprojected Woods. DeAndre Hopkins, injuries hurt. Jamar Chase spread too evenly, missed by 500 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Oops.
Just a
Are
big
you
miss.
actually a Jamar Chase hater here?
No,
Yeah,
I
just
adore
kidding.
Jamar Chase. Like,
Yeah, he is.
absolutely adore
Yeah,
him.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah, I know Ryan
100%.
and Ryan, we talked about this in the offseason. Both of us were kind of on the Higgins leading.
Yeah, I thought Higgins was the
train.
one. I mean, Joe, you're the one who put me onto that with the fucking AJ Green conspiracy, or not conspiracy, comparisons. So
Yeah, I thought him and Higgins were going to basically be like roughly the same this year because I didn't know how Chase was going to play into the offense. But I was like, T Higgins is top 25. He'll be a starter on your team.
if we had made the correct connection, we could have called this 2020 Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and we would all look like fucking geniuses. But that's just not what we expected to have happen. So
No. I'm just happy I got T Higgins right. That's all I'm happy about. Feels good. And I have Jamar Chase in Dynasty. Feels good.
I
That's all.
need to stamp this just dead right now. I adore Jamar Chase. I am not a Jamar Chase hater. I don't want this getting out.
Thank you for holding us accountable, Kelly.
Yes.
Ryan, I mean, that's not what your name says.
Oh,
Hey.
Jesus. I don't know who that Jamar Chase is because that certainly isn't spelled correct.
Listen. I don't know how to spell his name correctly. It's Jamar's Jamar. We all know who we're talking about. Okay, we're 5 minutes over. Hunter Renfro, biggest surprises. Chris, Hunter Renfro, top 12 wide receiver. Not a surprise to me. Well, actually, I will say top 12 is a surprise. But being good, not a surprise. The
Yeah, I
tragedy
would not have been shocked if he would have ended as like a top 24. But
liar.
top 12,
You had him at 66.
Again, it's all the target. Like,
What do you
I just
mean?
underprojected.
Hold on.
Dude,
No,
I
sir.
was off on like 150 targets
Sir.
in this entire
Sir.
offense.
Sir, you want to be surprised if he finished top 24? You fucking put him at 66. What do you mean?
I put
What
Jalen
do you
Waddle at
mean?
68. Like,
Josh, that's a full 4.5 rounds of drafting of just receivers
okay.
that you were
What was
off
his
on by him.
preseason ADP, Joe? It was probably right around where I had him projected at. So anything
Sir.
better is a silver lining, but that doesn't
Sir.
mean that I didn't take chances on him in drafts. I had him across all of my teams.
Oh, I'm glad you did. All I want you to say right now is that I would have been surprised if you finished top 24 because wide receiver fucking 66 is it's not a surprise. It's a, oh my God, no.
People are going to get hurt. I wasn't expecting Waller to miss 6 games.
All right.
Nor
All right.
Henry Ruggs to get cut mid-season.
All
That's
right.
going to shift your target distribution.
All right. Listen.
I just want to throw one last thing out with the Hunter Renfro. I'm going to bring Kelly in as the 5th host again. Have you seen this dude? He is the ugly stepsister. So that's not an apt comparison.
That's rude.
It was there was a video that I watched of the Raiders, and it was
It's
like
the ugliest dude.
it was leading up to opening day for the Raiders and like their first ever game with fans at Allegiant Stadium. And they showed the players walking in, guys walk in nice suits or they'll be in something nice. Hunter Renfro, I'm pretty sure, walked in sweatpants and like a Ralph Lauren t-shirt.
Yeah, he was
Like, that was-
probably halfway being escorted out by security.
Yeah.
Look, homeless guy. You can't.
He
just
looks
walk
like a
in
just
here.
casual white dude on like, I mean, you could definitely tell he's not a Raiders fan because a Raiders fan doesn't look like that. They look very menacing and scary with all the spikes on their shoulders. But it's just, Hunter Renfro looks like a normal dude who just finished his 17th year of college. That's
Hunter
about
Renfro, Hunter Renfro looks like he just showed up and people let him play for the team and he's too nice to say anything about it.
it. Yeah. Chris, you also surprises tragedy Kenny Golladay and DK Metcalf. Josh, you said definitely Debo. Renfro. But Josh said he also wasn't surprised that he finished top 24, but still a surprise. DJ Moore's targets.
Yeah.
It was 163. I didn't even know he was 163.
Yeah.
Waddle and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, anybody saw that. I mean, I think we thought Waddle would be good when Will Fuller ultimately, got hurt, but not this. And then I feel like the sun god. I don't know if anyone had that.
Nah, I certainly
Especially in
didn't
the
have
second
that.
half.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
I was
damn
off
right,
by
Kelly.
30 targets, but
You're damn right, Kelly. Dad bods are hot. That's right. I'm working to perfect my best dad bod.
I have that shit perfected already. So
I was gonna say I got the bod, just not the dad part. So
I missed Amon-Ra by just 13 targets, but had his touchdowns perfect. Damn, I actually did great with him.
Oh well.
So I mean,
congratulations.
The big thing in the
catch rate.
community
I
is
was
like
way off on catch rate.
go ahead, Chris.
The big thing in the community is like, is he, actually good? Is it just, creature circumstance here? I'm on the side that he actually looks good. He smooth routes.
I agree.
I don't know. I don't think they do anything other than maybe go out and get a wide receiver 2 now.
I'm going to throw a stupid question out, and I think we're all going to answer the same way, but Amon-Ra or Gabe Davis?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I wish I would. That feels more like a Twitter. What is it called? Engagement farming question.
Yeah, engagement farming.
I should get involved in that.
Well, here's Amon-Ra St. Brown sees the Vikings secondary twice a year.
That wins it right there.
And I know Gabe Davis sees the Jets secondary twice a year, but he's also not the wide receiver 1 or the second option or the third option. Even if he
Patriots secondary twice a year too.
God, don't even talk about it. Jeez, Jalen Mills. If anyone sees Jalen Mills even once a season, they're top 20.
4 touchdowns incoming.
Top 24 per ever. God, if you also see Tavon Campbell from the Chargers, you're automatically a wide receiver 1 that week. That was my favorite call. T Higgins was a wide receiver 1 that week because he played against Tavon Campbell. That was my most favorite call I've ever made this past season. Josh, also another surprise, Hollywood Brown. Ryan, you have the rookie receivers and Hunter Renfro and Deebo Samuel. We kind of sprinkled in some sleepers that I had this year. So I obviously all the guys that I fucking smashed on. Because I don't shut up about them. How would
you ever let us forget?
Yeah, how would I ever let you forget? Some of the guys listed in here because I just didn't have time to go through and look at my sleepers because of work. I can tell you just guys that they've put down on their lists for surprises and stuff like that. I can just go through. Like I was higher on Woods than Cooper Kupp. I still had Kupp as a mid wide receiver 2, obviously not whatever the hell he did this year, but I was taking Woods over Cooper Kupp. D-Hop I kind of had as like a low end wide receiver 1. So obviously it was a miss, but he got hurt. So when he was healthy, I think he was in that low end wide receiver 1.
He was just so boring. Like you never felt like
boring.
It was D-Hop anymore.
Well, a boring wide receiver or running back 2, Josh Jacobs. Yeah. So boring. So horrifically boring, but he was the solid RB2.
Yeah.
Smashed Allen Robinson. My God, I wanted everyone to stay away from him. I also missed on Cortland Sutton. I was Sutton over Judy. My saving grace was Tim Patrick. 100% my saving grace was Tim Patrick in that whole Denver wide receiver room. I don't like Amari Cooper, but I didn't have him as a wide receiver 3. So there's that. But I liked Godwin. Godwin was my favorite Bucs receiver this year. So again, I don't know where Evans finished, but I know I liked Godwin.
Did finish above him.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Godwin was trending above him had he not gotten hurt.
Sure. Okay. Hated Chase Claypool. That guy's a bum. Brandon Cooks still quarterback proof, I guess. So. Yeah. The only true quarterback-proof wide receiver in the NFL is Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, whatever the prop is every season for Brandon Cooks to cross 1,000 yards, you have the money.
Smash it. Yep. Smash it. It does not matter. I was the Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. I hated Corey Davis going into this year. So I didn't have Elijah Moore higher. I just said avoid every single Jet not named Michael Carter. And Carter had 2 good weeks. He had a decent season. I wasn't saying
he was
Michael.
the running back one of the weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say go out and get Michael Carter as, your RB2, but I was like, if he's there late and, he's your fourth or fifth guy, he's probably have a couple solid weeks for you. But yeah, I was way off of the Jets Corey Davis train. So I know I was good on that one because we had Elijah Moore as I had Zach Wilson as my sleeper for the Jets because if you can name me another receiver outside of Crowder and Braxton Berrios on that team, two guys that nobody was drafting, Zach Wilson was the de facto sleeper in that backfield because I think we had Carter as the upside just because he was going to be the only running back there. So I might just have to double dip, like upside sleeper. I don't really know. I might just have to double dip at this point.
Well, we're going to readjust the graphics this year, so
oh my God,
it'll allow for more double dipping.
Yay, more graphics that I have to make. Woo, let's go. No, they're fun. They're fun. I can. All right, gentlemen. Anything else? We're 14 minutes over, but this was a fun show. I mean, you know what? Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say a quick question for y'all. In terms of the rookie wide receivers from this year, Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle?
In Dynasty?
Dynasty.
Waddle.
Dynasty.
Well,
I mean, I would say Waddle. That connection, if Tua stays, that connection with Tua is for real.
Yeah, I like the way Smith looks, but Waddle feels more consistent, less boomer bust. I think Smith is doomed to be that boomer bust guy. So
yeah, I just worry with that offense. They're just not going to throw as much in Philly. So
yeah, they're
100%.
run.
Yeah, give me.
Focused.
I mean, if you're arguing talent, then I think it's pretty close. I mean, there's one thing that Waddle does exponentially better than Smith, and that's speed wise. But Smith is just so smooth in his routes and everything that he does.
Definitely not a Devontae Smith hater, but I would rather have ARSB, but that's one where I would want more value back. I see the extra value in Devontae Smith, but for my team, I'd rather have a Munra.
I will say, fair. I think Waddle and Smith's route running is probably on par with each other. The difference,
they're just very different in how they do it.
Waddle is more jagged and aggressive with his route running. Like it literally looks like there's a skip in the film because he stops so quickly.
Yeah.
Devonta Smith stops quickly. It just looks effortless when he does it. So it doesn't look aggressive, or it's not going to it's not going to jump off the page to you. It's just and Calvin Ridley is the same way. Calvin Ridley is not aggressive with his route running. It's just so damn good that you can't cover it. And Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen is more of that aggressive, like, I'm going to make you fall to the ground type of route running.
Yeah.
I like Lee's question, especially when you put it against Jalen Waddle, because now there's talk that Brian Daboll is the front runner for the Dolphins head coaching job. If Daboll goes there,
Bill's OC, correct? Sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Bill's OC, correct.
Oh, I love it.
Up.
That would be like, yeah. I mean, you would almost think that Waddle would fill that Stephon Diggs role 100%. Kind of in that offense, right?
Yep. Because what's funny is this year,
the Gabe Davis role.
What's funny is this year, Waddle had to be used more of like a PPR type guy. The strength in his game is a deep game. If you bring Daboll there, I'm all for it.
See ya. Yeah. And if Daboll goes there, Mike Gesicki's going to get more involved in the offense too, just based off of how Dawson Knox got involved. If he's there, exactly. Yep. But if Daboll goes there, I think
I saw Josh preaching Hunter Long on Twitter earlier.
I mentioned it.
And I think we'll talk about this next week, but something to sit on as we wrap up the show heading into tight ends accountability next week. If Daboll goes to Miami, how overdrafted does Mike Gesicki become if he stays in Miami? That's a question to ponder for the week, just based off of what Dawson Knox has done this previous year. And I think people will be a little too overexcited about the potential that Gesicki has. I like his potential, but I think there's going to be people
are like that every year with Gesicki.
I know, but now even more so, I think people might reach a little too far.
But he always finishes consistent, though. I mean,
he does, but here's the thing.
It's not like, you're saying, he's going to be a top 3 guy. I mean, he's still
here's the thing.
Kind of a mid-range guy.
Here's the thing. I think people might put him in their top 5, and people might start reaching for Mike Gesicki.
feel like the
going into
top
next year.
5 is pretty well locked right now. With if you consider,
Yeah, especially with
So-
Pitts making that jump.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Pitts, Hawkinson, and
The
Gesicki.
big 3.
2 of them are not in the top 5.
I'm just saying it could happen. I just want to
Yeah,
throw that
that's-
out there.
Next week will be fun.
Next week will be a good time. Yeah, because there's a lot of tight ends I'm sure Ryan wants to punch in the mouth. So
Like Jonnu Smith.
Yes.
I want to punch John.
No,
Smith in the
I
mouth.
jumped off
I
that
wanna
train
punch
pretty
him in the
early.
mouth. I want to punch him right in the mouth. I will take my victory lap on the Hunter Henry side of things, and I will take tomato when it comes to Jonnu Smith. Thank you, Chris, again for joining us, and thank you, Kelly, for being our 5th host who just showed up randomly without even asking. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Fogging earlier today. So.
I love it, Kelly. Thank you for stopping in. We love when we get the chat because obviously, I think everyone that's typed in here we at least said something. So Kelly, Carrington, Albert, Elixirs. We see you guys every single week.
Yep.
Gianni kicking it off with the Le'Veon Bell chat. Obviously, we love to see it. But next week we're wrapping up the 2021 accountability show. Tight ends. Probably be a lot less to talk about because it's tight ends.
They only
And there's
score
about
4 points a game.
Yeah, there's about 3 good ones, and then the rest can go shove it. So, tight ends, woo! But we'll recap the championship round of games as well. And hey, we'll preview Pro Bowl week because I'm sure tight ends will last 10 seconds. So, who's excited for the Pro Bowl, guys? Me? No,
When
nobody.
Is the Pro
Yeah.
Bowl?
What is the Pro Bowl?
Why is the Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
Why? Why is the Pro Bowl?
How is the Pro Bowl?
How is the Pro Bowl? Yeah. Who is the Pro Bowl? Yeah, just all the 5 W's in the H.
Exactly.
Thrive Day props, Chris's Thrive Day props article drops this weekend. Joel's Blurred Lines piece as well. Both help fill the void for the 2021
Yeah,
fantasy
big
season.
shout out to Chris. Last 2 articles, 10 for 10.
Wow.
Absolutely crushing his picks.
Yeah. Drunk Josh put it best. If you don't read Chris's article, fuck you.
Did I really say that? Oh shit.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
I still
did.
haven't. Here's the thing. I didn't listen back to the show. I just when I
Please
uploaded it to Spotify, it asked, "Do you want it to be clean or explicit?" And I just assumed I should put it as explicit.
It was quite explicit.
Yeah. So again, I'd like to thank Don Julio for hosting last week and Terramana as our special guest. Next week again, same time, same spot. No pun
Very
intended.
certain one of those margaritas had Don Julio in it, so we're good.
Yeah.
there.
Tight end accountability. Chris will be back with us one last time before he takes his ride off into the sunset for the 2021 accountability season. DFS and chill. Is this the last time?
Last episode, we're going to go Sunday at 1, about 2 hours before kickoff, and we're finishing up with the guy who started it with. Chris Robin will be the guest.
Woo! Sunday at 1. Check that out. I mean, obviously, some very important games happening this upcoming weekend. All right. You can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. We will see you next week.